Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Star Wars HQ. Once again, we're diving straight into the details about recent rumors and news concerning Star Wars Battlefront and the upcoming Star Wars games from Electronic Arts. And man, there have been a lot of rumors since my last video, and a lot of news actually, so we're going to be diving into that. But also we'll be diving into your top comments from my previous videos and some community comments from some Facebook pages that I am a part of. We're going to be reviewing some community comments through that, and there's some interesting things that you guys have to say. So if you have anything or any input for the upcoming Star Wars games, leave them in the comments below, and I will be sure to get back to you, and I do try to reply to as many comments as possible. And of course I have to mention, for those of you that are new, we are still doing our next-gen gaming giveaway. It's for the PS4, Xbox One, or PC, so you PC gamers, you are not excluded. And if you are wanting to enter into this giveaway, go ahead and leave your Xbox Live gamer tag, PSN ID, and first name, and we will be sure to select one lucky random winner, and that winner will be able to choose their game of choice for any console, any game, and we will be sending it out to you. So look forward to that. We'll be announcing the winners in an upcoming video, so if you're interested in tracking the winners, go ahead and subscribe to us on youtube.com/gameverb. And we cover a lot of Star Wars games, Titanfall, and some Battlefield, so look forward to that if you're interested in those games. And actually, I stumbled upon an interesting story about Star Wars Battlefront and Mirror's Edge 2. They're both games that are coming up by DICE, the same guys that brought us Battlefield 4. And basically what it says, because of all the problems with Battlefield 4, they're going to be delaying work on Star Wars Battlefront and Mirror's Edge 2. And don't panic. When I heard this news, and it's official news from GameSpot and major media outlets, I didn't panic. I knew that this was false from the get-go, because the facts are, Star Wars is the biggest franchise on planet Earth, and Electronic Arts is going to neglect Battlefield 4. I'm sorry, it's just the facts. They're going to be working on Star Wars Battlefront no matter what, and they of course updated this original article recently, and they confirmed what I thought, and they said, following the publication of this story, an EA corporate communications representative reached out to GameSpot with a new statement that indicates work on future projects continues unabated. The work being done to stabilize Battlefield 4 does not impact our release schedule for future titles, the representative said. So that's really good news. If you want to see the source of this information and to see that it's really official, check out the description below. I have included a link to GameSpot.com. You can check out what they have to say about it. And again, like I said, I really do not believe EA and DICE are going to be missing out on this opportunity. They have so much stake in this gaming franchise right now, in Star Wars really, because we've got Visceral Games, BioWare, and then DICE working on some awesome games. And of course EA, they are loaded with talented developers, and another one of those developers is actually Criterion Games. I'm sure you've heard of them. And of course, Criterion Games is known for their work on the Need for Speed franchise. And previously, I read an interesting article from GameSpot from Criterion a while ago. They are very, very interested in moving away from the Need for Speed franchise. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up actually working on a Star Wars game with their pedigree. They're very, very talented at streaming large worlds very quickly. Of course, in Need for Speed, they are streaming a lot of content very quickly, and a lot of their games are open world, which is the big trend in gaming right now. But Michael Pachter actually reported to Eurogamer that Visceral Games or Criterion Games are working on a Battlefield spin-off, and I think this is to alleviate pressure from DICE from working on Battlefield. They are wanting DICE to be 100% focused at this time on the Star Wars Battlefront game, and I think that totally makes sense. I think that this story could be actually true. It's a rumor right now. He's not sure which development studio is actually working on the Battlefield spin-off, but they know it's a military shooter. And again, Criterion Games, previously they have mentioned quite a bit that they are interested in moving away from Need for Speed and working on an open world game. They actually messed around with working on a Medal of Honor open world game, which is pretty cool. I actually would like to see an open world for Star Wars, and we have heard rumors that that is actually coming. I reported on that in my previous video. I'll include a link to my previous video about the open world Star Wars game, so you guys can check that out if you're interested. And I just think that this all points to Star Wars Battlefront, of course, and we will see what happens with this. What would you guys like to see? Would you like to see a Bad Company 3? Personally, that's what I want to see if they are in fact working on a spin-off to Battlefield, because a lot of people want Bad Company back into the spotlight, and I can see why. It had great humor in the single player, it had superb multiplayer, and in fact they have some of my favorite maps from the entire Battlefield franchise. I would love to see them recreate some of those maps. And let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And of course, now to get into the top comments from the videos I have done prior, and I highlight your comments in every single video. The best ones I pick out and try to respond to you guys as much as possible in the comments below. So if you have anything at all to say about this video, go ahead and post it below, and I will be sure to try to get back to you and highlight it in my upcoming videos. But first, I'm going to actually talk about a Facebook page I was invited to be a content creator for. It is called Random Star Wars, and they post a lot of random content, and I can't thank them enough for inviting me. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I was pretty shocked when I got the invite from a Facebook group that I'm a part of. And the Facebook group is also called Star Wars Geeks of the World Unite, and a lot of the people a part of this group also run the Facebook page, and it's just a really fun community. We post a lot of Star Wars content out there, and they have some excellent stuff. But I recently did ask the random Star Wars guys what they think about the weapons, the actual weapons for Star Wars. What would you like to see for weapons in the upcoming Star Wars films and video games? And again, post your comment. I want to know what type of weapons you guys would like to see. And Chris Simmons actually had a very interesting comment about what weapon he would like to see, and I have to say I did a little bit of research on this weapon before he posted this comment, and I had no idea something like this existed. He goes on to say, I always thought that the light whip was a pretty cool weapon, especially the one used by Sith Lady Lumina, and man, that is a perfect choice. I totally agree with that one. I think it's absolutely perfect timing to introduce some new weaponry in the films and in the games for Star Wars, because this weapon, I don't think a lot of people know this weapon exists in the Star Wars universe, except for you hardcore Star Wars fans, and I want to see this thing especially in Star Wars Battlefront. I personally am a huge fan of what DICE has done, in particular with their sound, and I could see them having a blast with this weapon, because we all know how intimidating a whip can be just by the sound alone, and I could see them doing a lot with that, with the light whip, and I think it would be absolutely devastating against vehicles as well, and on the map, and it could cause some devastating Levolution events as well that we see in Battlefield 4. So that would be really cool. I'm all for the light whip. What do you guys think? Do you think it fits in a Star Wars game or a Star Wars film? I think it would have to be used by a really good character like Lady Lumina, for example. I think the Sith should be the ones using it, and I really hope we do see something like it. And then we have two more comments from Random Star Wars, and they come from Peter Miller, who says that he would like to see lightsabers. Enough said. And that's a perfect choice. I want to see lightsabers. I think it would be actually neat in Star Wars Battlefront, for instance, to be able to choose your color of lightsaber. I think to have a lot of customization with your characters in Star Wars, like they're doing a little bit with Battlefield 4's vehicles and tanks, I think they need to transfer that over into the look of your characters in Star Wars Battlefront and with the lightsabers. But I hope we do see Jedi in Star Wars Battlefront, and of course I think we're going to definitely see it on the big screen. So definitely want to see lightsabers. And Raymond Hess goes on to say, I want to see more of the DC-17. And what he's talking about is the DC-17 hand blaster, and it was actually a heavy blaster pistol wielded by the clone troopers. And I'm going to include a link to all of these weapons discussed here, so you could check out the link below and go to Wikipedia. They're the ultimate source for all things Star Wars, and I think this would be so cool. Of course, the limitation with this weapon being used in the films or in Star Wars Battlefront in particular is that they are used during the Clone Wars. I have no idea if they are used after the Clone Wars, but it specifically states here, that they were used during the Clone Wars. But I think it would be cool to see a lot of variety in terms of the actual hand blasters that we could choose from in the games. And for the films, it would be very interesting to see more weaponry. I definitely think that this is a time for Star Wars to really try something new. I don't think they should be afraid of trying things that are new. In terms of story, they should really stick to what they did with the original trilogy. But in terms of weaponry, go all out. That's what I say. I say, if you have a new character, especially someone that's part of the Sith, use a new weapon, introduce something new, because I think Star Wars has so many cool weapons, and I'm reading up on them. And again, if you have any ideas of what weapons should be on the big screen or in the games, go ahead and post it below, and I will be sure to reply to you guys and highlight them in my upcoming videos. And in my previous video, I actually spoke at length about zombies in Star Wars Battlefront. And yes, this may sound like a ridiculous idea, but believe it or not, Death Troopers is very real. It's part of the actual Star Wars universe. It was approved by Star Wars, and it actually turned into a book, so it's something to consider in terms of actually a mode or DLC. And I asked, would you like to see zombies in Star Wars Battlefront? Would you like to have Death Troopers a part of Star Wars Battlefront in any way, like as a DLC or perhaps its own independent mode? And I got some interesting replies, and it seems that some of you do want to see this, and actually some of you don't want to see this at all. Me personally, I'm actually for the idea, especially if it is a game mode. It should not be included in the actual story or included in the map rotation that you play in competitive multiplayer. It'd be neat if it was like a zombie mode as seen in Call of Duty. That makes sense to me. I totally get that. But I got a reply, and it goes like this. It's from the official Sop with Camel. He goes on to say, no zombies. That would be crap, literally. I actually really hate the vibe and feel of zombie games have. I'm sure some people could agree. And he does get one like, so he is not alone in this, and I have asked this question out on my Facebook pages. And again, I think the general consent right now is that it should be a DLC mode. It really shouldn't be an entire game yet. I think they should just test the waters out and see how it does at first. It'd be really neat to see this. I think it would be really neat. I didn't really know about it. I guess the book is really good. It was a Star Wars book, and I guess it was very successful. It has a lot of supporters, and I'm actually going to try checking it out too. So what do you guys think? Are you for Death Troopers and zombies in Battlefront? Leave your comment below and let me know. So thank you so much for watching, and if you are interested in watching more episodes about Star Wars Battlefront and the upcoming Star Wars game, you are most welcome to join our community on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You can see the description. We have 20,000 subscribers that we are celebrating. We have grown a ton since we reached that milestone. So come join us, enter our giveaways, and have a blast with fellow Star Wars fanatics. And thanks guys for watching, and see you next time.